It's hard to believe it's been a year. David Bowie's life, his music, his career, it just transcends everything that any of these new pop stars only hope they could ever be.
I still remember learning Major Tom on the guitar with my next door neighbor, Taylor, and just playing the same chords over and over and just having that song be so impactful.
I was fortunate enough to be, even as a little kid, exposed to MTV because I had an aunt who was in college and watched it all the time. So I remember enjoying Let's Dance. And it wasn't until I was in high school that I really got exposed to the depths of Bowie as an artist. And that actually was through my high school show choir teacher who had us singing Space Oddity as a part of our show. Those lyrics took you to another place. It literally painted a picture for you, like, you know, the best book or the best poetry or the best film, but it felt like you had seen it before. It was just so magical.
I started in radio back in 1967, so you can imagine the kind of music that I was used to. And then I went to see Ziggy Stardust on stage in Boston. I knew right then and there that I was witnessing a new change in rock and roll.
This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in the most peculiar way. And the stars look very different
Today.
We ended up in possession of the guitar that David Bowie played when he made his American debut here in Cleveland, and some YouTube video came up that showed that initial performance, and I'm getting chills right now at that moment. Like, wow, that was that guitar, and we've got it right here in the museum, and it makes me so happy.
I first met David Bowie, as it were, when I watched The Labyrinth in the movie theaters back in the mid-1980s. I was like 8 years old, and I fell in love with his voice, with his crazy hair, with Jareth's personality. And it just blew my mind. But in all seriousness, it's really difficult to measure David Bowie's impact. He not only completely changed the look and the fashion and the style of glam rock and of rock and roll, and he helped us reconsider what gender can mean, which was actually very empowering for, I believe, men and women alike.
I still can't quite believe that David Bowie is no longer on this planet. He just seemed like an otherworldly being that would kind of always be around. I'm really grateful now that he's passed away to have had the opportunity to see him in concert on a reality tour in 2004. And I remember just being unable to speak for about 45 minutes after the concert was over. Like, do you believe that we just saw David Bowie?
His music pushed all of the boundaries, and he was willing to experiment in any way possible. He could also just push us into this really weird territory with melodies that you didn't even know could be earworms, that you didn't even know could be a hook. And talking from everything from the space race and loneliness to homophobia and to approaching gender norms and imbalances, to even talking about his own mortality, which he did just on the Friday before he passed away with the release of Lazarus. It's hard to keep it together when you're talking about David Bowie. Blackstar couldn't have asked for a better album for 2016. We wish you were here to celebrate it with us, and we miss you, David Bowie.